Well, that huge LCD screen you see, I don't think it's an LCD, whatever it is, Jumbotron screen you see at most major sporting events. Jumbotron, there's a variety of names for it. And sometimes, you know, they'll put Happy Birthday Joe, or they'll even put your picture up there, especially when you're doing something really stupid that you wish no one would see. Do you want to be on the Jumbo screen? Wish no more. DV Garage's Alex Lindsay is here to show you how to Photoshop yourself onto the Jumbotron after the fact.
Exactly. That way, in case you told someone that you had been on the Jumbotron,
you could prove it.
Yeah, you could. Yeah,
now this comes from Michael from Cleveland, Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a feeling that that's Michael's newborn. Is what I'm thinking is that this is a birth announcement he wants to do. And so he sent you the picture of the Indians, Cleveland Indians Jumbotron.
Yeah, we got this and
he sent you the baby picture. Mm-hmm. Now obviously you could just cut and paste it in there.
Well, you can, and that's what we're going to kind of do some of that. Yeah. There's a couple problems. Is that we've got, you know, a big coloration change, which we talked about last week.
It would pop out. It would look so good.
And this one's a little rotated, so we're going to have to fix that.
So it's skewed.
Yeah. So we have to kind of unskew that. We've got to get this one to match. And there's all kinds of stuff. How do you make it look like it's actually on a scoreboard? How do you add the grain?
Well, notice, for instance, the scoreboard isn't high resolution. There's little dots there.
Right.
I mean, all right, so we were going to make it so it looks like it actually was there.
That's the
idea.
idea.
We're going to make it as authentic looking as we can.
Exactly.
All right, so how do we start?
All right, so the first thing we have to do is we have to fix, whoops.
Don't fix the baby.
Baby's okay.
We don't have to fix that beautiful baby.
There we go, yeah.
Now, I should say, by the way, Michael sent this to us in September.
Yeah.
So the baby...
But it's still baseball season.
We did do it, yeah. We did do this before the baby was 1 year old, but...
Right, yeah, exactly.
You know, typically, baby birth announcements do take a while to get out, as I'm sure you know.
That's what we're hoping.
Yeah.
So the first thing to do is we need to fix the rotation. And
so instead of rotating the baby, we're going to rotate the scoreboard?
Yeah, I actually, if you go up to the web, there's a bunch of steps on how to do this, of course. And I actually rotated the baby for the web, but I've decided that it's better
easier to rotate the scoreboard.
Easier to rotate the scoreboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in, and there's this great little trick that you can use, where if I just take this, there's a measuring tool right here.
Yeah.
And if I just drag this along the top of that red area there, and try to get it as close as I can.
So now that's theoretically a straight line in the picture, but it's obviously skewed because the picture's tilted. So now we know how much it's tilted by, right?
And, well, not only that, if I go to rotate canvas and go to arbitrary,
then you're supposed
the number is already there.
I've been trying to figure this out because you cannot, you try 1%, 2%, you try stuff, but you're going to get it exactly right. So
what will happen is when you use the measuring tool and then you do rotate canvas, it automatically puts in the number that you need.
I could have used that last week.
When they first added that feature, I cried. You know,
that's how what a Photoshop feature.
So then boom.
So now it's perfect.
So now we have it. It's pretty straight. There'll be a little bit of a skew, but it'll be close enough for us to knock it out. Now we've got this big black here.
That's very cool.
We can just crop it down a little bit if we want to, just to get rid of that black area. So we have a regular.
Zoom in a little bit here.
So now we have it. It's going to be easier for everything to happen now that we've got this set up. So the next thing we're going to do is we need to get the baby into the picture. And we're simply going to make sure that our layers is selected, and we're just going to drag this over.
But that's nice. It's pretty close to the right size.
Pretty close. So all we have to do is hit Command-T or Control-T, and we'll make it just a little bit bigger.
You're going to cover up the McDonald and Company thing, huh?
Well, we can fix that, though. So what we have here is now we've got...
Oh, you made it bigger than the spot you're going to put it.
It's a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger than the spot we're going to put it.
You're up to something, I can tell. You have that look in your eye.
Exactly. I've got it up. Another trick up my sleeve. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new path.
Okay.
And I'm going to...
This is neat because it uses a lot of the techniques you've shown us in the past.
Right. And this is a real simple path. I turned off the baby, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a little line around the scoreboard. Okay, so I'm just drawing a little path, just a single click on each corner.
This is different from a selection, though.
Yeah, well, exactly. Right now it's just a path. It doesn't do anything, and I might, I didn't get it quite right, so I can, I can move
modify
this, I can play it, and that's really nice. If you try to do this with a paint tool,
it's very hard.
Right now I can make all of those adjustments and just keep on adjusting it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to turn the baby on, and you can still see that path.
Yep.
If I go up to Layer and say Add Layer Mask, or Add Vector Mask, I can say Current Path. So now
cut it down.
And what's better is if I unconnect them right here. If I click here,
unchain them,
I can move
the baby, but it's within
inside
the mask, so you can position the baby just.
So now everything will stack in there. So now
it's looking good.
It's getting there. We're on our way now. A Jumbotron tends to have a little bit of a glow. So what we're going to do is we'll just we'll duplicate the layer. We'll get rid of this mask. And
Uh-oh.
And what I'm going to do...
But you made the baby big again.
Oh, but we can fix that. If I hold down my Option key or
Yeah.
Alt key and just click, what it's done is it's grouped these two together. So one's
so
stacked
clever.
on top of the other one.
You are
But
so
it's
clever.
using this layer here. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to blur it just a little bit. So we'll just do a Gaussian blur. And I'm going to do what's called a screen, which will kind of lighten it. That'll give it kind of that little bit of a glow.
Yeah, it's starting to look like it really belongs on, on TV.
We might bring it down just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, and then, now we talked about color correction last time, so I'm not going to get into it today.
Right.
This is a levels call that'll make it darker.
Okay.
You know, to fit into the image. The problem is that it's going over the entire
The whole image was darker.
But once again, if I hold down my Option key
Oh,
and
you
click
link it to the
between,
mask.
So now it's just over the baby.
That's very handy.
And
so
you use this all the time.
Once you create that path, you can continue to make stuff be only in that path.
Exactly.
By linking them. That's
Exactly.
great. Oh, that's great.
So now the next step is that we've got to create that kind of the lights. You know, we've got these little lights here.
Mm-hmm.
Now what I did is I actually zoomed in. See this little light here?
Yeah.
I can select this, and so if I select this, I can make a pattern out of it.
You're going to make a paintbrush out of it.
So I can, actually not a paintbrush, but
pattern.
if I go into under define pattern under edit.
Okay.
Okay, and if I define that as a pattern, and I create a new layer, let me, put it up above, and if I say fill, I can say fill with, let's say,
that special pattern.
And now what I have, if I turn this on,
you got a lot of dots.
I got a lot of dots. Now that's probably not what we want, right? We can't see the baby anymore. So what we'll do is
gone.
The baby's gone.
What'd you do to the baby?
And with a soft light though, and we're really close. See now what you have.
Oh, you pixelated the baby.
The soft light is a nice little.
Oh, look.
You can see those little.
Nabbit, you're good.
And we can decide maybe this is a little too big because this is much bigger than the actual baby.
Yeah.
I can go in here and I can go, you know, let's make the pattern just a little bit smaller.
See, okay.
You know, so that way it'll. Now it looks a little. If we look at it one to one, you can see that it, you know.
Yeah. Perfect.
So now
and you
we
could
have,
change its opacity a little bit if you
bring
want to
down
make
the
it
opacity a little bit, make it subtle.
Yeah.
But it kind of gives you that feel. Now the last thing that we have to do is we have to make it look grainy because the problem is we've got
look how
all
grainy
this
the picture is.
grain.
Yeah.
This is a huge amount of grain. Now there's a couple ways to do this. The simplest way, if you can get a big piece of black. Now on the website I show another technique, so definitely go up to the web and look at that. But if you have this little black here, what you can do is I can create a new layer, and I'm just going to select it, and just like with that light, I'm going to select a little bit of this grain.
You're going to make another pattern?
Okay, and I'll make another pattern out of it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it with
your new pattern.
My new pattern of grain.
Okay.
So this is what it looks like.
Quite a bit of that, yeah.
Now I just grouped it to the baby.
Right.
And now when I set this to soft light again, which is just kind of a nice blend.
The baby shines through.
So now you have
it's pixelated.
You have this grain that kind of, and it really matches the grain that would be in the photo.
Let's see the whole thing.
So if we pull back, there you go.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. You put the baby on the Jumbotron. Now, what a great birth announcement, too. And you might, and this might be for a later date, change the Budweiser to the name of the baby or the birth announcement. But that is amazing. It fits right in. Alex Lindsay, you've done it again. Thank you, Michael, for your submission, and we'll send that back to you.
And we've got, I'm going to be doing question and answer next week.
Oh, good.
So,
we like when you do that.
Send a lot of questions. If you
We'd like to do 4 or 5 in one
we're going to go through 4 or 5.
Okay, good. And of course, if you want more information on how you can Photoshop your loved ones into the Jumbotron, including additional techniques that he didn't show here, go see Alex's complete step-by-step on our website, techtv.com/call for help. And of course, dvgarage.com is the great place to go if you want to know more about any kind of 3D and 2D editing. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Great to have you. Coming up next,